What's that? You'll be fine. Alright, it's not going to be hot today. You'll be fine. I'll leave a fan running for you. You don't need AC or anything, alright? Okay, have a good day. You got water, you got food. Have a good day. Ugh. Oh yeah. Good morning. I came in here to show you an update on the fridge and the microwave cubby because it's almost done. Lighting is a little weird out there, but the trim is all done. We've got our sill down there, and like I said, eventually there will be some type of door or drawer in there. I know it's a little hard to see because I'm standing on the other side of plywood stretched across the floor, but there are outlets in there for the microwave and fridge. I've got half a dozen 2x4s under here, and right now I've got 3 sheets of 3/8. Obviously I don't want to completely do my walls in that because it is a bit heavier, but I will need it for a few different things yet, including in behind some of the cabinets. And I hope to have cabinets going across here and cabinets going across there, up above where my prep counter will be. Yeah, electrical for the most part is going to be going along the fridge wall and also down in under a bench that will be here eventually. I am just getting ready to head out the door, going to my dad's with this plywood and 2x4s, and I'm not sure what we're getting started on today. We might even start the partition wall. He's like the carpenter and all of this, and I'm just handing hammers and tools and things because it's all way up over here. I'm kind of learning as I go, I guess. pretty awesome. Start of the partition walls. Sorry about the lighting. Story of my life. We used some tongue and groove pine until we ran out. It was stuff that my dad had. But it's cool that we ran out here because the stove will be going there, so we're thinking about putting something a little more heat resistant or something on this wall down below. I have a door for here, a solid door. We're just thinking about what we want to do with that. Maybe like possibly put in a nice sized window there, or turn it into a Dutch door. That's still yet to be determined. So the once 16-foot box will now be a 14-foot living space, and we've got 2 feet of space in here that is garage space. Obviously there's just junk from in here, but yeah, propane will be over here, diesel heater will be over here, and there can be shelves mounted over top of that. Space, basically space here to store things. So now what I want to do is, I've got this wire here for a light in the garage space. I'm going to just tape the wires from my light to this and just try to fish them through. I think they're long enough to make it through to the other side, but we'll see. I could be wrong, but 8 screws in one of these tiny, really light lights might be overkill, so I'm just gonna do 4. Cool, garage light is in. There's gonna be an outside light right here. That shall be coming in through here. So what I think I'm gonna do is be drilling a hole in through these shelves here in the corners to come up and reach the outside light. No idea if I have this hooked up right or not, but it illuminates. Outside light is on as well. I got the amber cover on here. I do have a clear one as well. I just have the amber one on for now. Not a super big fan of wiring rocker switches with the 3 prongs on the back. Whoop, this one's touchy, see? I've got a couple of them, but I don't know if I have it wired correctly. I'll just throw that out there. I almost forgot what the floor looked like in here, but I just pulled everything out. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't damage the floor in any places, because sometimes rocks pick up on your shoes walking in and out and get stuck under the sheets that I had laying on the floor. But it looks good, and I gave it a sweep, gave it a vacuum. Now I'm going to lay the sheets back down and put everything back in here because it's supposed to rain tomorrow. Working in a construction zone, there's only so much you can do. Good afternoon, actually. Rainy day, perfect day for painting. Got my painting hat on. No idea where I left off last, but I may have already said what's going on in here. We got the one wall up, which is awesome. The start to some cupboards, upper cabinets for, you know, plates and dishes, I think, maybe. I don't know. I'm sure I already showed the trim around the fridge and stuff here. All of this needs to get primed, which I'm going to do here shortly. The same stuff I used over here I'll be using on that tongue and groove pine on the partition wall. But before I even touch that, I want to get everything primed in here. So this wall, you know, what's here of the cabinets so far, the side wall of the fridge and the trim. So I'm going to need to take out these vents, take this out of here, and also out here in this garage space. We reused again the 1/4 inch plywood that was used as walls for the box truck when I first got it. Reused that stuff and put them in here in the garage, basically just to cover up that insulation. And I'm going to be priming that as well. It will be painted probably later on. Yeah, rainy day here, so may as well just be in here painting, priming, not painting. Slap some coating on these walls. I decided that I'm just going to be doing the priming like as we go. So each time we get a wall done, I'll probably just prime it and get everything ready for paint when that does happen. I have an idea for colors, but I'm not completely sold just yet. Okay, don't mind my fridge. I've got the door hinge thing ripped off of it. So the first coat of primer is done. We got the trim all around the fridge and microwave. We got this wall here. I even went in here and I just went ahead and primed both walls in the garage space. I feel like at some point I'll probably just give them a little coat of paint as well. I thought by the time I got one coat on and over to the garage walls here, I could just circle back and put my second coat on, because this stuff is supposed to take about an hour to dry. Unfortunately, it's 95% humidity outside today and I've got the door open, so I think it's going to take a little longer than an hour because as I'm looking at it, it's still a little shiny in places. So while we let that decide if it wants to dry at some point, I think what I might do is just go along and do a light sanding here on the tongue and groove. Just get that prepared for the min wax, which won't be happening just yet. Like I said, I'd love to just get this second coat done before I get started over here. This stuff is going to take like 6 hours between coats. So if I can get a coat on today, I won't be able to do another coat. Or I probably won't bother doing another coat until tomorrow. Keep in mind, this is primer. I'm not going to have white walls and white cupboards. They're going to be painted. This is just primer. I'm not going to do the all white walls thing. It's just, they'll get filthy. They'll be filthy. So just the ceiling. The ceiling's going to be white, but everything else, nothing else will be. Hopefully you can tell by this wall I'm on my second coat. Right here I need to get to my second coat, and up in here. Soon I'll be finished this, thankfully, and I can get started on this pine tongue and groove wall right here. 2 coats of primer, done. I need to get the fridge door situated and back together. Did a second coat on this wall in here as well. And this one. Some of you might remember this stuff. Classic oak, stain and polyurethane in one step. All the old stain is stuck here around the lip of this. Oh my gosh, it's like friggin' glue. Let me... Oh, jeez, man. Oh wow, I have a lot left. I thought it was... Ooh. That's sticky as hell. Get all that good gunk off the bottom. Wow. Okay, it's no longer chunky, so I'm gonna do what they say and apply a thin coat. I've already hit it with some 220 grit sandpaper and wiped it off, so let's get started. There's the stained wall, and there's the unstained wall. It might just look like that until it dries. Well, the mosquitoes are getting in here, and all they have to say is... So, I'm going to get out of here, and we'll get back to this tomorrow. I'll put a second coat on this and figure out what we're doing down here. Second coat is on. I'm going to give it the 6 hours it requires before you give it another coat and see what it's looking like. I have a feeling I will do a third coat just because, well, just because I did over here, and you know the old saying, third time's a charm. Yeah, I kind of just want to make sure that I get every spot. Sometimes you might miss a spot because it's kind of hard to see when you're really just putting like a clear coat over top of the boards. But yeah, I might do a third coat later tonight. In the meantime, I kind of want to take care of this. Like I mentioned, we ran out of tongue and groove pine, stopped right there. Wasn't really a super big deal. My stove is going to be right here. Kind of thought it would be good to have something heat resistant there, but it turns out my stove doesn't actually like give off much for heat on the sides or anything, so it's not a big concern. However, I still might put something like roofing tin there because I have a bunch of it. I actually brought a piece in right here. I cleaned it all up because it was outside for, well, for years under the catio and such. One problem being these pieces of roofing tin actually came out of a barn, or came off of a barn roof, I should say. So they do have pre-existing holes. They might not exactly line up with the studs of the wall, but I'm not really worried about it. I'm not super fussy, you guys. I'm not a perfectionist. I think some of them do, because I already kind of held it up here to see what it would look like. Kind of hard for you to see because I'm holding it here and standing back as far as I can with the camera, but you see what I'm saying. There's holes in places where there's no stud behind it. I could put a little cross piece in behind on these studs, but also right next to it, those holes do line up with the studs, so that's important. And then over here in the middle, these ones do not. As much as I like the color of this silver roofing tin, I think I am going to spray it with some high heat spray paint, just really to clean up any imperfections and kind of hide if there's any bits of rust. This is pretty clean, but I just want to clean it up more with some paint. And I think I am going to go with the black high heat paint because, well, I have it and why not? Well, unfortunately, my can wasn't as full as I thought. So now I gotta run to town and get some of this if I want to finish this project. Also, I know it's hard to tell, but it's not as sunny anymore. It's pretty cloudy, so I might actually have to go stick that underneath the box truck just in case it rains. I am liking that color, so I'm going to hold off on that third coat and just leave it like this for now. Also, I'm just hoping that tin is almost dry. It's just laying there on the sheet on the floor. In out of the rain. I'm just waiting for it to dry so I can try and put it up right here. I did do a second one as well because that's not going to go all the way to the bottom of this wall. So I'm going to end up cutting strips, probably 2 strips off of the bottom of this one to fill in the very bottom here. I'm tired of waiting and I think that's dry. Let's install it and see what it looks like. Okay, so tell me when it's straight because I can't see. Is that straight? Oh, I can push it right up and then that's gotta be straight, right? Yeah, okay, well, let's just put a screw in, see what happens. Okay, well, there's one. I'm gonna have to drill these ones. Dang. From afar, this is what it's looking like. I only have 2 screws in it, here, and those were pre-existing screw holes. There's one here and one at the bottom, but I'm kind of waiting before I do that. Grind off pieces of that and put them in under this, going across. What am I doing here? Cutting this piece in half, I think, and filling in down here at the bottom. I don't know what I think. I know that I don't think you're really going to notice it much when there's a stove right here, which there will be, and all of that. I don't think it's going to bother me too bad. Let's get this other piece over here cut with the grinder and maybe pieced in here. In the meantime, let me show you something. I picked up this doorway trim at Canadian Tire because I needed a trim for my pass-through door here. You see here I got this gap, so I'm just gonna have this here in the pass-through door just to help clean it up a little bit. I also stained that with 2 coats of the same stain. Each bit of wood gives a different color with the stain I'm finding. This one's definitely darker. And just for this wooden piece of trim was $22. I thought that was kind of wild. I probably just could have used a wooden ruler, honestly, but I needed a trim. I grabbed it. Okay, so a couple of things. I got some imperfections here. I got some, paint that's come off, and I'm gonna fix it, but I'm gonna fix it in here, which isn't ideal. I'll just have to be careful when I'm spraying, but that's the easiest way other than spraying it outside and then waiting for it to dry, and yeah, I'm just gonna do it in here. I was going to put these pieces in under it, but this was a previous cut, so it's actually going to look better to put these pieces over top. I hope that makes sense, but it was cut here. Not the best cut. Don't really want to mess with it again because you're never going to get a perfect cut with a mini grinder on roofing tin. You're just not. I hope all of that makes sense to you. I'm going to piece these together over this and hope that it comes out looking somewhat okay. And yeah, then I'm gonna have to spray paint it to fix up all the little imperfections from grinding, and yeah. So this back piece is going to go on first, and then I'm going to overlap it with the other piece. Okay. It's going to go, we're going to dip it right into, yep, right like that. And yeah, that's going to work out okay. And then this piece, wish I could just, well, you get the idea. This piece has the good cut on this side, yes. So that's going to go here. That's what we're doing. I'm just going to have to drill a hole right here and hit that stud. And that'll at least get it set in place. So let's do that first. Remember, this part down here isn't gonna really like be seen ever anyway, so I'm not gonna be totally fussy. Where's my, try to keep this somewhat in line with the other screws. Well, there you are. My battery died, surprise, surprise, and some pretty entertaining things happened that you missed. Anyway, one little piece left to put up there, and this wall is done, or at least I'm calling it quits for the night. Where the heck is that drill bit? There we go. It's too late for a game of hide and seek. Don't be playing tricks on me at this hour. Freaking mosquitoes! God! All we can do is all we can do. Oh, that's in a little further. Maybe I should go right there. Gotta get through one. Okay, gotta get through one tin. And gotta get through the other. There we go. There. That's better. Okay, a couple more screws and then we're done here. And it looks kind of funny, but maybe it won't be so bad. I don't know. All right. Okay, so it's on there, and this is a classic case of I'm working with what I have. I had the leftover roofing tin. I had the paint until I ran out, and then I had to go buy another $18 can of spray paint. But anyway, I do have this feeling, though, that the paint's going to scratch off that tin easily because I didn't rough it up with sandpaper first. So that's, well, that's my bad, I guess. One thing I do have to do, as you can see, is just maybe lay out some newspaper under there and give those little imperfections a spray. I'm not really worried about the screws. Those don't bother me. They're like a bronze, I guess. I don't really feel like spraying the heads of all those black, so I'm fine with it. Hopefully they don't bother any of you too much. But that's it. That's what we're working with. The two walls are officially done. I think it looks okay. Sorry, I had the main light off. This might be better. Yeah, I don't think it looks too bad. And like I said, there will be a stove here. There will be a cupboard down below. So you're honestly only going to see a small portion of this here out front. By the way, when the door goes in, there will be like some trim or something going over the front of this. So you're not going to see that blunt edge either. I'm going to call this project done. I do obviously need to put some insulation behind each one of these walls, and that's going to be pretty easy. It's a matter of just slicing to fit. That actually works out well because I do have a whole sheet of 1.5 inches left, so that'll work perfect for in behind these walls. Let me know what you think. I definitely really love the tongue and groove pine. This was just me working with what I had, and I don't think it's too bad. It is going to be right next to the stove, so maybe it'll help for something. The stove isn't actually gonna get hot on the sides or anything, but we can pretend it is. That, I believe, is it. I'm gonna go ahead and touch up this tin with some spray paint in here. Wish me luck and hope that I don't get it everywhere on everything. Okay, I'm yammering. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Oh, the things I do to save money. I probably just could have bought like a pre-painted roofing tin sheet for less than what this high heat Rust-Oleum spray can cost. Yeah, cut it to fit, or maybe it would have worked out perfect. I don't know. Yeah. The things we do to save money, man. Is this gonna work? This could be sketchy here.
Alright. Whoop. Whoop. Yep, right there. Yep, right there. Is that? Yep, right there. That's just some shards of metal. Get out of there. Where else? Where else do we need touch-ups? Down here. There we go. Let's just do a quick whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay, well. Yeah, okay, well, yeah, something like that.
I think that's gonna do it. Alright. Not too bad, just the tiniest bit of overspray. Good thing we had newspapers. How about that? We got partition walls, and we have a garage. How about that? It's a mess, but it's a garage. How could anyone expect any less?